Can you explain, first of all, just exactly what you expect will take place today?
Well, I think now a variety of states, plus the Corps of Engineers, and certainly the state of Missouri, is going to present a different perspectives on what is about to happen. The last time this levee was breached was 1937. When it was breached, so much silt came in that some of the farmland, even today in this Missouri floodplain, is not usable. There's sand, 3, 4, 6 feet, 10 feet deep. The devastation that is about to occur over this 130,000 acres will last for a generation or 2 generations, and every consideration needs to be given before this step is taken.
Are you looking for the judge to make a ruling that would in effect stop the plan, because the plan is obviously already in motion?
We are trying to stop the plan because we have not gotten full information from the Corps of Engineers as to whether every mitigating step has been taken upriver, whether every reservoir is now full and cut off, whether Kentucky Lake is continuing to flow, and whether different steps up and down the Mississippi and Missouri have taken effect. This should absolutely be a decision of last resort.
Do you know how much time do you feel that you have as far as that decision being made, since again the water seems to be rising by the hour even?
Well, it's an interesting question. Right now the water we think is at about 58 and a half feet. The Army Corps' plan says that the dam should never be blown before 61 feet. So part of the argument that we are making is that the Corps has to follow the plan, and to even attempt to blow the levee before it reaches 61 feet is uncalled for and outside of the plan itself.
There are 2 gentlemen here from Cairo, the mayor and the former mayor, and they have argued that acres and acres of farmland versus 2,000 to 3,000 lives is not a fair assessment. How do you respond to concerns on the Illinois side that these are homes and livelihoods as opposed to farmland? Everybody is cognizant that there are no good options here and that the Corps has got a very difficult position that it has to be looking at. But I'm the attorney for the citizens of the state of Missouri, and we are here to make sure that their rights are recognized. There are people who are just going to be wiped out by this. They will be treated as though they have no property rights at all when this water goes through. Private insurance companies are telling them that because this is a man-made disaster, there will be no coverage. The federal government is saying because they have easements that were purchased for tiny amounts of money 85 years ago, the federal government's not going to give them any money. And so if you've got a $150,000 house and farmland, these folks are about to be totally wiped out. And one of the issues we want to talk about is that issue of compensation.
What do you say to did you hear Mr. Tilley's comments?
Speaker Tilley?
Yeah, in reference to Cairo, there was a reporter asking him, hey, would you rather see farmland or Cairo flood?
People make offhanded comments. This is a serious situation. We certainly recognize the challenges that the Corps faces, and we recognize the fear and the challenges that the citizens of Cairo and other communities all up and down the river on both sides of the water, including on the Missouri side in Charleston and other places, are going through. We take all of those positions very seriously, but we want to make certain that all of the laws of the state of Missouri are being recognized and that every mitigating step possible has been taken before this decision is moved forward with.
Ms. Madigan had mentioned that she's going to file a possible appeal. I mean, your counterpart in Illinois, a message to her?
Attorney General Madigan and I are colleagues and friends. Both of us have interests that we are representing. My job is simply to make sure that the citizens of the state of Missouri have their rights recognized, just as Attorney General Madigan has a sworn duty to uphold the Illinois citizens' rights. That is why we're in federal court. Everybody wants fairness and the law to be followed.
And from a legal perspective, what is the exact step that you're hoping that, is it that the judge here would make some kind of a ruling that would stop the plan, just so we understand the legal process?
Right. First off, we think that there are grounds to stop it because there is the Missouri Clean Water Law that has to be recognized. When this water comes through, if it is to come through, it's going to pick up chemicals off the ground. It's going to go through barns that have yet to be evacuated and pick up chemicals that are in homes, storage facilities, and barns. It is going to take those chemicals and dump them into the Mississippi River Valley. This is a violation of state law, and on that ground we think that the dam should not be blown at all. But there are other arguments that we have related to compensation and related to mitigation that also have to be discussed. One of the challenges that we have is that there's a lot of information that is still very fluid and hasn't been given to the state of Missouri, the governor's office, or our office. And so one of the purposes of this hearing is to set down in very clear fashion what steps have been taken, what the measurements are, how sturdy is the rear levee, what kind of tests have been conducted. And so it will give us a chance really to have a full discussion.
You think all that can happen, though, between now and tomorrow, again, with the river rising through the weekend and into early next week?
You know, my guess is that we do have enough time to at least get a full and initial discussion out. That is what a temporary restraining order is about. It's to show that there is enough information that is put on the table to determine whether or not a fuller hearing should be scheduled.
So would that be your goal, then, that the judge issue a temporary restraining order against the Corps?
That is what we've requested.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you.
We're up. Thanks.